Good morning. So I'm just heading out from Casa after a 0. Managed to not get vortexed in. I'm leaving at 7 a.m. right after eating pancakes for breakfast. Sorry. The plan is actually just to do a few easy miles today, just about 15. We looked at the miles to Hikertown and just saw that it makes more sense to do it in 2.5 days rather than in 2 days, because if we do it in 2 days, then you get to Hikertown in the evening after having hiked a big day and then want a night hike, which doesn't make any sense. So we're gonna pull like 15 to 17 mile days for 2 days and then have like 4 or 5 easy miles into Hikertown and then be able to night hike from there. I'm feeling okay overall with my body right now. I think what the main issue was is I hadn't been stretching very much, and I think I just got some muscle imbalances with some muscles being really, really tight and then just not doing the work anymore. So I did a lot of stretching and rolling and stuff. It's still not perfect, and I do think that it has the potential for causing injury. So I'm just gonna be very careful today. Lots of stretching, lots of breaks, take it slow, and hopefully it'll work its way out. But I had a really fun 0. I didn't really take much video, but it's a very relaxing place to hang out at Casa, and camping's really cool, and it's just a fun environment. But now we're gonna hit the trail again. Alright, well, I'm just back on trail. I got a pretty immediate hitch, which was awesome because I actually wasn't expecting one. This road can be kind of hard to hitch on, so I thought I'd have to walk the extra 1.5 miles to get to the trail. So it's really nice to get to start the day at 0 miles walked instead of starting having already done 1.5 miles. But yeah, so goal is 15 miles total. We're gonna take a siesta at 10 miles in, and possibly my friend is gonna be visiting. Melissa, she was hiking with us and then she got injured, and I think she wanted to stop by. So we'll see if we run into her, which is pretty fun. And yeah. So I'm starting a new strategy today. For the first time ever, I am not taped with KT tape anywhere at all. And what I'm going to do is wait until something starts hurting and then tape that. I just had this theory since I've been having plantar fasciitis and Achilles pain that when I tape one of them, it puts more pressure on the other, and that it's helping one but then hurting the other. So I want to see what happens when I'm not pressuring either, and maybe they could just figure it out together. But then if one of them really starts hurting, then obviously I'll tape that one. We'll see what happens, but trying something out and we'll see what happens. Here's Green Valley, and we came from those mountains over there. Oh man, that desolation is where we are headed. We're gonna be at those windmills. I can't tell if you can see it on the camera, but in just a few short days, we're gonna be hiking through by the aqueduct. So it's only a high of 83 today, so today it should be pretty nice no matter what. I think we're still gonna siesta, mostly just to get used to the lifestyle. Not really because we need it, but also because my friend's gonna be there, and then it's gonna quickly climb into like the mid 90s or even higher once we get lower down. So I think up here it's supposed to be like 93, 95 tomorrow and the next day, so it'll probably be even hotter at the aqueduct. But we're planning on night hiking that anyway, so I don't think it'll be too big of a problem. So today will be pretty chill. Tomorrow might be a little tricky, and then after that we're night hiking. Over a month into this hike, and I still get surprised when suddenly you turn a corner and it's a totally different plant system. This is almost like a little meadow, which is amazing. So far, the temperature is feeling super comfortable, which is amazing. I think it's just because there happens to be a lot of shade on this little stretch. I'm sure it'll get hotter later, but it's funny how quickly you get used to something and then want the other thing. Like before it was cold for a long time, so then when it was finally warm, we're like, yes, it's finally warm. Then it was hot for just like a few days and we're like, oh no, we want it to be cold again. So now that it's kind of comfortable walking after a few days of being pretty hot, I'm just like, yay. The ridge walking we're doing right now is pretty dang flat, which is amazing. It just goes up a tiny bit and down a tiny bit, but nothing hard. So far, my body's feeling good, but it's also early days. I've only walked 4 miles so far. So I just had to step off the trail for 3 bikers, and I was totally that person that called them out on it. It was just like, hey, like, just so you know, bikes aren't allowed on this trail. And then they're like, oh, like, since when? That's completely new. And I'm like, no, it's always been like that, but maybe you got on the wrong trail on accident. They weren't. But anyways, I could have just said nothing, but I'm not that kind of person. It's actually very pleasant right now. The wind and the breeze makes a huge difference. Alright, I'm within 0.5 of the lowest point of today, which is a road. I'm going to take a break because after that it's going to climb 1,500, 2,000 feet in about 3 or 4 miles. So I'll take a break. Before then, I'm not sure if my friend Melissa is meeting us at that road or at our Siesta spot, so we'll see. But either way, I'm going to take a break there just to make sure my muscles and knees and everything just feels as fresh as possible for the climb. I do think the climb is going to be a little steep. It's going to be not quite the heat of the day, but pretty warm, so it's going to be a hard one, but I can manage. All right, we've dropped down to our lowest point. We're going to be climbing all the way up there and even maybe a little farther. All right, I'm officially on the climb. The next 4 miles or so should be a bit sucky, but after that, it looks pretty easy for a while, so just got to get up here. The nice thing is there's a bit of a breeze. It is hot, but there's a breeze that makes things totally tolerable. At the road, there was actually a water cache, just like a few liters of water, but I chose not to get any because in I think like 2 miles there's a creek, and I prefer not to carry more weight up the hill, so I'd rather be a little emptier on the water and then have a little lighter of a pack. Not quite done with the climbing yet, but we're high enough to have a pretty good view. Got about 2 miles left till our Siesta spot. Fast Track and Crater have caught up to me, but they're a little behind me because we were filtering water. And yeah, we don't even have that many more miles till our camp spot. We could easily get there pretty early, but instead we're gonna hang out for a few hours in a shaded area in 2 miles, hopefully with our friend Melissa. The water source we were at is the last one that is like a natural source. Well, I mean, like completely natural source for almost like the next 40 miles or something like that. From now on, it's a bunch of cisterns which collect natural water, but they tend to also be way more stagnant, don't taste as good, sometimes a little sketchy. So we're actually camping by a cistern, so really didn't need to bring very much water, but I'm actually carrying 3 liters because I want the fresh water to last as long as possible and not have to drink as much of the gross water. Plus, like, we've pretty much made it to the top of the climb now. It's a little bit higher, but not much more. So it should be pretty easy to carry the extra weight. Oh man. So I'm getting the first look at the road that Melissa would have to drive up in order to meet us. And I don't know if she can do it. She might not be able to make it to our meeting spot, but we'll see. She does have a Subaru, but that seems pretty bumpy. The great news is my Achilles and my knees are feeling pretty good. The feeling of them is there, but they don't really hurt very bad. So I think the stretching is working, and I'm really excited about that. And I'm just gonna keep playing it careful. Probably just got a little too overzealous in my hiking speed and lack of brakes recently, so I'll go back to the basics, and that seems to be working for me. Alright, so I took a siesta from 1:30 to 4. I finally just could not handle the biting flies anymore. Like, they were driving me crazy. So finally I decided to keep going, even though technically it's not that cool yet. However, since we're doing a low mile day, only have 3 more miles to go, so it's all good. When I get to camp, I'm just gonna put up my tent so that I can be away from the flies. And I think next time I'm actually gonna set up my tent for my siesta, because oh my gosh, those flying monsters would not leave me alone. I probably killed like 30 like horseflies or whatever they are. That's just the ones I could get. One time I killed 2 with 1 blow, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, like, I got bit a bunch of times and drive me crazy. We are in the desert version of a green tunnel. They're not very tall, but they do obscure the view. It is pretty hot, but I chose this fate, and I chose to run away from the biting flies. Next time, I'm gonna set up my tent and siesta for way longer, because definitely drinking a lot of water. It's definitely pretty hot, but it's still worth it because I could not get bit by another fly. So I'm in my tent hiding from the mosquitoes. There's so many of them. The cistern water source is disgusting. I'm already dreading drinking from it. I only have 1.5 liters of good water left. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to drink the other water too. And it's pretty gross. It's like bright green. So this is the water. It actually looks better on camera because it's yellow. Boil water, boil! All the germs are dead!